plucked the sunglasses off the big son of a bitch. The black eyes met his. Eric pulled his will up from his crotch, up through his belly and his throat, pressing cold chi out through his gaze. The big son of a bitch tilted his head like a dog hearing an unfamiliar sound. The others stirred, hands reaching under jackets and shirts. "I'm looking for someone to do a job, friend," Eric said, pressing the glasses into the man's blacksmith-thick hand. "If it's not you, it's not you. No offense meant." The big son of a bitch shook his head once, but it wasn't really a refusal. Eric waited. "Who are you?" the lupine asked. The humanity had left the voice. Eric was talking straight to the rider now. "Eric Alexander Heller. Ask around," he said. "I can offer you the mark of brute loca. Might be useful to someone in your position." The black eyes went wider. "What do you want for it? You want someone killed?" "I want someone killed," Eric agreed softly. Everyone was quiet, quiet as the grave. "You want to talk about it here with all these nice people around? Or should we go someplace private?" "Django!" the big son of a bitch said. One of the men by the door stepped forward, lifting his chin. "Get the car!" Eric swilled down the last of his drink, and the big son of a bitch stepped back enough to let him stand. Eric dropped 2 20s on the table, a very generous tip. It always paid to be kind to the help. Outside, the rain had slackened to merely driving. A black car pulled up to the curb, Django at the wheel. The lupine and his 3 homies clustered around Eric, ignoring the downpour. 2 of the 3 minions got in the back with Eric stuck between them. The lupine had a short conversation with the last guy, then took the front. The last gangbanger spat on the street and went back into the bar as the car pulled away. They drove east toward Park Hill. Eric didn't speak. For the first time that night, Eric felt that the plan was coming together. The muscle was the last piece he needed. The trick now was to fix the timing. The whole thing had to come together like clockwork. Every element was in place just when it needed to be there. Him, and the lupine, and the old-timer. The driver sneezed. The thug to Eric's left murmured Gesundheit, and Eric's spine crawled with fear. Since when did 5 Points gangbangers say Gesundheit? What the fuck was he sitting next to? As casually as he could, he brought a hand to his mouth. He crushed the fresh sage and peppermint leaves in the cuff and breathed in the scent. His mind clicked into trance, the aroma acting as trigger. His eyes felt like they'd been washed clean. Everything around him was intensely real, the edges sharp, the textures vibrant. He could hear the individual raindrops striking the car. He felt each fiber of his shirt pressing against his skin, and the glamour fell away from the others. The ink of their markings seemed to well up from inside them all like blood from a cut. The driver was entirely bald, labyrinthine tattoos rising from his collar and crawling up over his ears. The 2 beside him were just as marked, their faces covered with symbols and sigils. It had been a setup from the start. The contact, the face down at the bar, the creosote breath. There were no gangbangers, no lupine. One of them glanced at Eric. "He knows," the guard said. The big son of a bitch in the front was still a big son of a bitch. He turned, looking over his shoulder. His lips were black. His eyes sat in a tangle of something half Arabic script, half spiderweb. "Mr. Heller," he said, as if they were meeting for the first time. His voice was low as tires against asphalt. With his senses scraped raw by the cantrip, Eric could feel the man's breath on his skin. "This isn't what you boys think it is," Eric said. "We know what you've been doing, Mr. Heller," the other man said. "It stops tonight. It stops now." With a despairing cry,